Moscow, Athos. My way. Preface by the author. My way to Mount Athos started after the death of my mother, when I was 12 years old. My father died when I was 4 years old. I was sent to study at a church school. I sang in the children's church choir under Patriarch Alexy II at the Epiphany Cathedral in Moscow, Elokhovka, and wrote a lot of poetry and prose. Once, at the age of 13, 1989-1990, I clearly saw myself surrounded by rocks that looked like frozen people in a mysterious bay near some heavenly city. I wrote, "The Girl and the Sea," miniature, although I had never been to the sea. The vision didn't let me go, constantly repeating. I wrote, "The Girl and the Sea," poem. I first found myself on Athos in Greece in May 2002. Traveling by ship from the Kassandra peninsula to the Holy Mountain, I learned that Athos is a peninsula where ordinary people, not monks, live too. On the way back, our ship made a stop in the village of Ouranoupolis on the border with Orthodox Athos, City of Heaven, Heavenly City, since Uranus means heaven in Greek, and I wanted to return to Greece, specifically to the Athos Peninsula, in Ouranoupolis. In 2010, I came to Athos with my son. We acquired our first Athos hand-painted icons, met wonderful people, local residents who later became my friends, because since then I have come to Ouranoupolis every summer. In January 2015, I found myself in Ouranoupolis at Christmas. Sofia, the daughter of my Greek friend Dimitra, gave me a tour of the ruins of the Zygou monastery and showed me a bay right on the border with Mount Athos, hidden from prying eyes by rocks that looked like frozen people. Yes, that was exactly what I had seen at the age of 13. Everyone has one's own path and mission on Earth. My earthly path was dedicated to creativity in the sphere of literature. God gave me the opportunity to conquer the literary Olympus and travel around more than 50 countries. But in the end he brought me to Athos in Ouranoupolis, where my heart will remain forever. This book is my way from Moscow to Athos, woven from fragments of poems and photos, as a memory of me for my relatives and friends in Moscow and Ouranoupolis. With love and gratitude, Alexandra Kryuchkova, honored writer of the Union of Writers of Russia, laureate of international awards, nominee for the Nobel Prize in Literature. Part 1. Dreams about Ouranoupolis. The Girl and the Sea. She used to sit for a long time by the sea at sunset, the girl in a pink dress. Lost in thoughts about something, she was gazing into the sky. There was a mysterious land in the clouds, where winged people lived. Lilac castles beckoned her to them. In their quaint gardens, fabulous flowers were fragrant and magical birds were singing. The wind carried unusual aromas and echoes of enchanting melodies to the girl. And she also saw familiar faces there. They smiled and called the girl to their heavenly country, to the city of the sun. She dreamed of getting to them, but didn't know how to do it, because she had no wings. The sun was setting into the sea. Warm waves caressed her legs, singing a quiet, kind song that she had heard from her mother being still a baby. The girl looked around, but there was no one on the shore, and she felt completely lonely. The gloomy rocks didn't understand her, because they couldn't feel anything. However, that was the reason they would never die. The rocks, as usual, were only watching silently the picture at sunset. The girl and the sea. The sun was approaching the horizon. The waves were whispering louder and louder. The magic country floated away, losing its outlines. The tears fell onto the waves. And the sea became salty. The seagulls that flew to the seashore in the evening didn't find anyone there. The sun sank behind the horizon, and the night came. Somewhere far away in the sky, the seagulls noticed the outlines of an unknown city. They wondered what kind of city it was, being situated not on earth, but in the sky. They had never seen such cities before. And the two most curious seagulls decided to make a flight to the mysterious city, but they had not enough strength to reach it. The girl disappeared. The rocks no longer saw her there, on the seashore, at sunset. Only the book left by the girl on the coastal stone reminded him of her existence. The stairs. Kissing gently with words of some foreign dialects, tell me, how more deaths are before happy end, we remember it both, in that place, by the sea, with the paradise gates always open so wide, God is fishing himself. Dancing softly in chats, keep me here with hope, with a dream of the sun, summer crown and wings, sweetly swinging the myth. In that place, by the sea, with the paradise gates always open so wide, every wish will come true. Change just minus to plus, and they'll melt away. All the 2638 of kilometers between, while I shudder to think, in that place, by the sea, with the paradise gates always open so wide, the lighthouse'll go out. Yes, I hear the violin, and you do it as well. Not in our souls the saint spring has run dry. We both know, if, then, in that place, by the sea, with the paradise gates always open so wide, a tsunami will pass. With the most tender love, rather more, even more, our grey hermit hearts will be warmed in the cold, and we'll rise to the stars, in that place, by the sea, with the paradise gates always open so wide, Mount Athos's stairs. Two mirrors. Two mirrors are mutually in love, but hanging opposite each other. Is that so sad? They will fall off the nails, and, rushing for the love, they'll shatter, anyhow, touching one another, through their fragments, with a death-like thirst, so passionately, being too much tired, of living dreams, postponed for tomorrow. Athos wind. Forgive me for the sunny wind of Easter. Mount Athos knows everything and all. The still alive in heart will be awoken by holy bells as ultimate recall. Thanks to the mystery of pranking Cupid's arrows, I'm falling with my salter soul in cope, into the palms of tender hands, while kissing the shepherd's lips and dreams with hymns of hope. Both sinners in the common dream of ours, we pray to love of heavens for reward, such as the rosary of earthly sunny meetings. Have mercy, Lord. I like you. Reality, again, is full of crosses. Don't bet on dreams. They have an iron curtain. The mount bursts in tears, and I'm scared. Let's face the truth. I like you. Mua resus. Above abyss, the elders chant salvation. I'm holding on to those birds, which dare escape from jail of cages in my notes, to reach the monks in time to get some air, that one of paradise, the common air there. While mummy's getting sadder every day. At night, she goes down, wearing slippers, we meet each other on the phantom border, and, bowing at ships, and fish, and others, the blessed sits, still sighing, daughter's wounded. She pities me, the wingless one. Who else? The clock alarm. I like you. Mua resus. The mount bursts in tears and will be drowned, since those birds, returning to the cages, have brought a sack of prophecies, my darling. The Bridge of March. From the beginning of the true beginning, the path of one's tomorrow is set, as well as misty worlds of Howard Lovecraft, as dates of palace feasts, the Maggie maps, the spiral of ascension, each performance, on stage in theatre, compatible surnames, unambiguity of banners, flags, the order of days and times, revenge of March, and more. Your February, brazenly marched through, on canvas, black and white, by blooming April. I'm a flower, so young, impudent, witch. Here is the chalk to circle a protection. In binding, utter nonsense. Full of love, enough for everyone. My paper boat's sailing, among the ice, alone, and that's a sin. You think the emptiness beyond the line is beauty. Offset book's pain boils, burning in the cold. It's bursting out, bubbling like a poison. The knives of talks are sharpened by deaf brain, illusions of my mind and judging grannies, a century of overdue. I'm late, 101% of railway stations, both too iconic and not so much at all, that deadly late to our love story. But still I love you as forget-me-nots. Admit it. Hiding shadow in silence, you, drowning and mute, just look and see, there are no anchors more in Friday Matrix. The cozy holes are shelter for the night, reality retreats in sleeping niches. The star above the mountain fell down, again, against and breaking laws. A trifle, your net for butterflies has catched my heart, enjoy. My empty sack awaits. Away with whom or how, engaged or doomed to follow the trail. Today, tonight, or captured, under blanket, the tickets shrunken, efforts were in vain. The universe was stitched crosswise beforehand, on a typewriter, fiction-like, by God. They forecast frosty air of mimosa, the winter is preoccupied, dead end. The slap of insult in the face of blizzard flew off its hinges. Guarded from above, too vulnerable. Girls are so fragile. Is the creator kidding? What is left of spring in stash? The snow got a coma. I'll use my veto power. Dark times. Turn on the lights. I'm heading for the summer. Let's overboard the sadness from the ship of galaxies. I am a treasure island, so more your universe, since from the true beginning, the path of one's tomorrow is set, as well as misty worlds of Howard Lovecraft, as dates of palace feasts, the Maggie maps, the spiral of ascension, each performance, on stage in theatre, compatible surnames, unambiguity of banners, flags, the order, of days and times, each step as well as each, my April and your February, even, revenge of March. No, crossed out, so, it means the bridge. The sun and the moon. It's time for convergence of friendly vibrations, the incense of Athos is pollen for Psyche. Communion of love is the sun in the curtains, just tenderly fishing the moon girl with like. It's more than incentive for smiles, dreams and dances, to hold on to reasons, so thirsty to run. The stars tremble scared of own collapses. The moon goes crazy about the sun. The funeral shroud of snow hates hopes, once, sprouting flowers, risen from sleeps. Mount Athos is moved by a tsunami of prayers. The Sun King is kissing the moon on the lips. Athos coat of arms. Day by day, incensing in a circle, neither wine, nor guilty taste, we were sent to meet at 6 o'clock each other, in the constellation of the war. No judgment. Heavens know better, marathon or Sunday summer sprints, birds in love are dear to Creator, more than soulless powerful imprints. No complaints, we can't crawl out skinless. But it's time for taking off, don't run. You and I are similar, up to the feathers, to an eagle, the double-headed one. Communion wine. Your likes are not letters, but what's else to heat with, my house the love. The time of the orgasms, of tragic deep heights cries, give me some sleep. The arrows are scared. Invisible mirrors. The shooter is hurt. The zephyr of clouds, is soaked so bloody, the wine gets matured. Myself is yours, darling, the second one, though, I made yours my first. Awaking with hope, that everyone still is, alive in my heart, that's what happiness is. Embroidery. The clouds over the common paths, were floating separately, towards the fishing nets. Between the floods, launch into the sky, the most talented stars, of the old Main Street. I will meet you at the battle break, with myrrh and incense, the first of 100. Would you embroider with prayers, the soul of Christ, in my revealed heart? Part 2. Unsent Letter. Hello. How do you do there, still without my wings, at 5:45 of your stay on the earth, so enchanted by gulls, in the village of sun, bathed by heavens in love? Even then and before Merry Christmas of worlds. While I'm going on here, still without your hugs, in the lost sense of life, for the absence of likes, on the edge of the sky, pierced by towers of towns, dead for money of blood, even then and before Merry Christmas of worlds. This is hell as it is. Scroll me through in silence, darling, leave the flock of wolves to others, let's enjoy the happiness in breath. Take my heart and reign in care, rustling stellar life together. It's too late for us to breathe the death. I hear the surf of the night in the sea, in every pattern I see, the island, where you and me are. Heaven is drawing thoughts, while time the sand, in God's hand, aslant Genesis, is stopped, waiting for us on the island, where you and me are. The solar iconostasis went out. It's a pity, the bride cannot sleep, the wings of the iron birds, are frozen at the borders again. I'll be swept away by a wave. Come for me as the savior. There's a boat waiting at the Temple of Dreams, to the island, where you and me are, together. I hug you tightly. It would be nice tighter, so hug me, be bold, and the last one will be the first right today. I feel you closer than my own skin. I've known you longer than our lifetime. Alchemy is a divine science, indeed, but Dante never met us in hell, so be brave. Vivace, allegro, crescendo. There's nothing to do even here but love. The Olympus in clouds is somewhere beneath. Walk towards me on the waves and against all the winds. I'll come down to you with the joy of a child, touching weary heart very gentle with wings, your breath happier air and fresher than breeze. Friends in heavens for long, such as our souls, miss each other so much on the level of earth. Let's get lost, in the shade of the eternal olives, in the curls of the Greek vineyards, on the edge of the final sunset, in the mysterious bay of August. The rocks won't tell them about us wandering, in the starry maze above the holy mountain, having stopped the time and the world downstairs. Life is a very short book, really, but we have never yet read here somehow, our story of love. It's interesting, so let's get lost somewhere. Not thinking is impossible even for angels. We are neither deaf nor even mute. God has no voice to tell us the truth, but hoping for the words of the world, He gives us the chance to meet our destiny. Accident is a language of heavens. Not trying is shameful even for angels. We are neither dead nor even robotic. God has no hand to write His intentions. But hoping for the intuition of hearts, He gives us the sense to feel our destiny. Attraction is a magnet of heavens. Not loving is sinful even for angels. We are neither wolves nor even lambs. God has no flesh to experience life, but hoping for the intelligence of minds, He gives us the right to accept our destiny. Crossroad is an offer of heavens. Know that God loves us, and if maybe one day you wake up thinking of me in your heart, that still means almost nothing today, at the distance of a sincere glance, so then, know that I love you, too. And if maybe one day you wake up missing me in your heart, that still means almost nothing today, at the distance of a lover's kiss, so then, know that you love me, too. And if maybe one day you wake up with me not only in your heart, then the God, watching us at all times, will be happy to see us together, both that day and always, so then, Part 3. At the foot of Mount Athos. An Athos star. The voice of resentment is silently hiding, in shawls of the mother, since betting is funny, while someone with a terrier is coming back home. I'm taking the moon for a walk till the sunrise. The guardians weeping, the faceless of ours, the ash of the prisoners scattered by Pluto. As a fairy abandoned in the frozen forest, I'm stroking paths with my magical broomstick. I'll be a star there, above Mount Athos, a mute one, just faithfully shining from heavens, to those who take thorny path, leaving here, for those who know to love us immortally. In this garden, your lonely demon languishes from dreams, the grapes ripen faster than Pegasus flies. The wave is guarded by the red moon, but only he who has risen knows about the one, irrevocably extinguished by the gaze of the star. Greek dances. Greek dances on tables. Don't cry, Athos elders. The earth needs both fables and fabrics for welders. It's time for seclusion, for prayers and graces. We all are illusion. Don't frown your faces. It's too late for joining the nuns as beginner. Don't blame us enjoying Greek dances at dinner. A sinner, persisting, and far from salvation, I'm hardly resisting the slightest temptation. The earth needs both sinners and saints for romances. On menu at dinners, we have just Greek dances. At the foot of Mount Athos. Don't cry, the elders, since the ship with sinners has no right to dock at Mount Athos, keeping your peace untouched. The sign of cross, as always, is formed by my embarrassed fingers, though I dare not pray even for being happy. I will just look with silent apprehension at Holy Garden from afar while sailing, and hoping to stay somehow at a distance, but flocks of coastal seagulls, as the dolphins, will guide the ship back to the inner border. In the dark tower. Happiness slumbers in a featherbed of the sky, no flight. The blizzard casts spells, laughing in face, in vain. You search for peace in fortune-tellers and wines, at night. The ring on your finger will turn black the same, again. Neither cat's shadow, nor light in the dark tower, alert. Even the doors disappeared, breaking the laws to win. At the gatehouse, just listen. The clatter of hooves is heard. Athos icons are stronger, that's what I believe in. There is a way out, I know, don't think of the walls. With the first star the altar will wake up the ray of the holy word, spilling from the stage to the halls. The church peal will disperse evil spirits away. God loves thirds. God still loves thirds. It's deadly hot outside. In Greece, there are Mounts Athos and Olympus, a chain of friends, a cozy hole, the pride of yachts, the sea, the sun and spicy impulse. Inertia is supported. Lobster, squid, my favorites, are sponsored by attention. While testing wine, new Homer's Ovid's lead to 3D talks with oysters or with mussels, Dimitra, and Odysseus, and dementia, in sandy castles. In Germany, there are the couple's heirs, whose beer cures phobias, or rather, the aging, diligence, abstraction, any stress. However, burning is much better than combustion between erasure, darling, and complete destruction. As Mrs. Merkel, hope fades away, death's not a suicide, a terrorist, dreams lover. Here are the demons giggling at the crossed-out line, no strength to wake up heavens, ringing loud, there's Greece, and Germany, and you, the same not mine, where I am not, was not and won't be checked in out. Two wings. In the evening Mrs. Fault comes to the village, and sits down between us in the overseas cottage. The cicadas will sing funeral for me here, as your wife will do for you, but no one will dare, for love. Having swallowed 2 deaths in an instant, you, savior of us both, our guardian angel, knew that the looks of beloved ones say more than evidence. But we are all just a momentary mirage. The sun won't be enough for me, and the moon is malicious. I would give my life for your tenderness, my friend. Leaving you one of my 2 wings, I whispered, saying goodbye. Just try. What if? But at midnight at the tower, there's the same monk. Once we met at dawn, and later in dreams, over the sea of life, he was eager to reach Mount Athos, having passed through no grief at all. I handed him the 2nd wing. It was the time. I made a sign of cross to him, sighing. There's a plateau on the right. The cicadas will sing funeral for me here, as Mount Athos will do for him, but no one will dare, for love. The empty pier. The ghostly empty pier, with the alarm bell of the waves of ancient Greece, is just the end of my beginnings. I'll be back, as a tribute to solar spin inertia, but forever late, for hundreds of the flights to paradise, while traveling in deep shamanic woods and villages, without weighing windy, all for us all against. A hypothetical cool match, with mossy poems, moldy songs, is nothing interesting, just corporeal, bland. The dress of earthly life without changes is tight for me. The fear of some pain is a captivity. The years have been hunting us. The traps of dreams are full of strangers ones, as well as of the moon. It's pregnant not with us, while in the heat of days, you rave about me, awakened baby, secretly caressing, with smileys. Funny dialects so sweet, a jam of words from magic of the roots. Oh, what a catch in pagan Latin's basket of boring days. So, love divine the nurse is trembling at the messages, in which, forgetting heavens, truth and fatherland, the destiny of worlds, her darkest highness, curves grimaces, resists Cyrillic alphabet. Look at the bottom of the bottomless inkwell. The prophecies are blooming violets, dropped by the persecuted. Always. Fortune tellers, at breaking of the matrix string, when once, a worm from Book of Genesis has whispered, that country's name contains both G and R, my dreams and me of still the same waist, hairdress. God knows, here even brothers aren't welcome anymore, the swords are crossed. Let bards take Arbat into a bar chord, Bulgaria and Germany already are bequeathed, vivat, Wolf King, vivat, but in the solar spin inertia, as it is, I'm waited for by ghosty empty pier, with the alarm bell of the waves of ancient Greece. 40 seconds ago. 40 seconds ago I fell in love with your like forever. I fell, coming out of all the banks of the ethereal rivers of heavens, to dare now, to hug you just once as the wind. It's too late to breed enemies, it's time to realize to win. A tornado is not death yet, but death is no longer hell. I fell in love with your like forever 40 seconds ago. I fell. The hostage of beggar years reprises under the sun, of constellations and wars, is melting away. The wind is no longer a prize for the one, woven by heavens into cascades of waves. The last return ticket is ripening by tears, the cards from dreams are on the table, not under. I've become thinner, lost 10 moons. No, years. You've lost the gift of speech for 100. I have poems again for fasting for ages. You are eternally registered with me in the white country of pages. There are no tombs, no guard, not even borders, but soon, at dawn, I am to return. Melting away following the moon, to my earthly home, the graveyard. The Girl and the Sea. The mount grays because of grief, the curse of which came true, distress. The rocks were talking with belief, and holding fairy by her dress. In soot, her air castle, yard. The fairy sighed, she didn't cry. Mama, remind the heaven guard to come for me before I die. The wind was whispering with ash, the night was reaching for a song, goodbye the sun. On earth of trash, the time was breathing clearly wrong. The stolen fairy was all right. But gloomy rocks were sad and silent, some visions cannot sleep at night, the sorrow wanders through the island. The clouds covered all the slaves, the sky was crying being fault, and tears were falling on the waves, to make the sea wake up from salt. The lighthouse keeper. We will sail to the mists, where all is the same, the old sailor checks routes, by the stars every night, in the deadly abyss of the gloomy events, turns the lighthouse on, counts time in reverse. But one day, as before, it'll be boring for us, we'll return overseas, to the earth's fairy tales, from the mists. Anyhow, the old sailor goes on, keeping records of deeds, in the charts of the life. Postscriptum. In everyone you meet you see my eyes, in every glance you read my fate. I will smile, as I did 100 centuries ago. You are silent, but I hear your prayers. Neither rains, nor winds, nor thunderstorms are scary. I breathe, growing in the rock as grass. I love, as I did 100 centuries ago, remaining the most alive of all of us. Nota bene. Don't restrain the impulse, light a candle. So if God grants, wingless, I'll fly from the cliff. Yes, I will, even perished, from wounds and thirst. God will grant, one day, Uranus will crown us first. We all met ourselves at some point at the bottom, my love. That minute will sink in the oblivion, but the date will remain above. Clouds arrived on the balcony. At the closed doors, again, the guardian is rain the sadness, as before. I am infinity, and even if you don't believe, I will wait for